Hello, everyone, and welcome to something that has been far too long since I've done last, the animated TV specials one shot, which is currently called Popularity Comes in Cycles. I have with me just a lovely menagerie of guests, and they're going to introduce themselves and their characters, starting from the top of the list that you can see in the player voice chat. Don't worry, this is going to be very informal and we can totally pop out and explain some stuff as we go along. But we'll start with Teeth, go down to Hee Hoo Peanut, then Hoodie Imp, and then Manny Cat. Teeth, if you'll start us off, just introduce yourself and your character.
Okay, so my name's Cade, and my character is King Tuna. Can I put his picture anywhere? Where should I put it?
Feel free to go ahead and put it in the coconut gallery.
Okay.
And you can also feel free to put it in the stars. I'm gonna find it.
Toontown fan art one?
Yes. I'm so sorry. My brain just
It's
turned
okay.
off.
You're fine.
It's all good.
Okay, so here comes King Tuna. He's a lanky yellow cat with blue eyes and a purple cape, little yellow purple gem in it. He's how should I best? He's a little bit full of himself. He believes him to be himself to be the head of his little tuna company. He's the mascot for a tuna company called Royalty Tuna, with fish so good it's fit for a king.
I already love him.
Yeah.
I love him.
All right, Peanut, you're up.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Aaron, and I guess my dude is, Roxadas, or, yeah. And should I pop a picture of him in the coconut gallery?
Sounds great. Go ahead.
It's taking a hot sec to look through, but, yeah,
Oh,
that
there
lad.
he is.
he's
Oh, do I love them.
yeah, he's a big old buff dragonborn. He's kind of a little bit, he's not the sharpest knife in the jar, and he knows it, but he wants to try his best and, help people with his epic fighting skills.
Nice.
And he's gonna do so good. Alrighty, Hoodie is next up.
Oh, hi. My name's Hoodie Imp, or Dana, I prefer to be called, and my character is Daisy Tripper, a rubber hose druid girl with a very much cottagecore snufkin kind of aesthetic. Use her magic
Aw,
for
nice.
mostly gardening purposes. Very new to questing, and here I'll slap her up and...
Well, don't slap her. Just gently place
Oh.
her.
Gently. She's a rubber
Oh.
hose.
She's cute.
I
like
love them.
Thanks.
I
And
absolutely
she's
love them.
adorable.
Yeah, friends, they're kind of lanky forest being of indeterminate gender and perpetual unwashedness.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
They're not fussy.
They are valid and very cute.
Yeah, I love them.
Alright, Manny, I think
Thank
you're
you.
last up.
Yeah.
Last but not least.
I'm Manny, and I'm gonna play Red Cat, who is a Toonkind barbarian. He's like the rubber hose based on those old 1940s shorts that weren't exactly Disney, and he is very angry. Almost all the time. He's one of those guys who forces the retail smile whenever things are pissing him off. He's like, no, it's fine, everything's fine, what are you talking about? And then just snaps suddenly, and now he just kind of has unchecked rage. Because he blew up at one point and now he can't stop.
He
He is
suppressed
the
himself
cutest
too
little
much.
barbarian.
Yes.
Ooh.
It's very
Not
polite
thinking.
otherwise. And he goes by he or they. I kind of flip-flop between the two.
Excellent. Phenomenal. Alrighty, let's get this adventure started. In the game zone, because of how I've set out this adventure, I'm also going to post what I say in case somehow we have like an audio glitch where you guys can't hear everything. You'll get the gist when I post something descriptive in the game zone. So,
Practical.
Gotcha.
all four of you find yourself in the land of the Dreamworkers, along the edge of the Inkwell continent. A small but hospitable bar named the Third Directional is nestled within the closest town for miles. Even though it's a relatively smaller town, it sent out posters to bigger towns, honestly, all over, requesting assistance with a particular problem that it was too much to bear for the townsfolk. Yes, you can, will,
See
should,
that.
and must expect so many puns from all of us.
Red Cat looks
I
at that
wouldn't
and
have
like,
it any other way.
is that a typo? Like, Red Cat looks at it like, it must be a typo.
As you have been going through and checking in your posters and all winding up in this town, the directions indicate that you are to go to the bar that is called the Third Directional. The bar itself is almost entirely empty, minus the teenage waitress wiping down the tables, and an older black sheep herding a younger white sheep off the bar. The older black sheep looks you up and down and sort of just sighs and wearily asks, "Alright, I can clearly see that you all are not from here. Is it even possible that you are here to deal with the tomb problem?"
Yes, sir.
Really?
Uh,
Yes, sir. I'm here to beat the living heck out of any sort of... I mean, I'm not going to actually fight it.
King
I'm gonna
Tuna's
be-
just like,
Maybe we can arrange a document or a discussion or something.
King Tuna saunters up and he's like, "Well, hello there. I am here for this problem, yes, but I assume we're being paid, correct?"
Red Cat stares at this dude and just squints.
Well, of course you're being paid, but and this black sheep is just like they lit up when somebody said, "Yes, they're here for the tomb problem." And they look to the other two and are like, and none of you are from here. Could it possibly be that? Are you here for the tomb too?
Yeah.
You bet.
I guess we are all, I suppose.
Yes, I suppose I find myself with some accomplices. Now let's get to the heart of the matter, please.
Oh yes, of course. And this sheep is like so happy. They immediately, like, you can just sense wafting off of them. They've been sending out posters for a while. And they say, "Sit down, please, sit down. And first of all, your Royal Highness of the Tuna Company, yes?" And they like wink at you.
Oh, so you've heard of me. That's always lovely.
"I'm a merchant, my dear. Of course I've heard of you. Listen, first of all, yes, you will absolutely be paid. But first, I need to discuss the technicalities of our problem with the local tomb. And I would like everybody to make a real quick perception check."
Oh,
Okay.
that's 20.
Okay.
So,
Uh,
in the game zone, what you're going to type is an exclamation point, and then D20 plus whatever your modifier is. There are no spaces in that equation.
How would I know what my
Modifier for what?
Oh,
Is it wisdom?
wisdom?
Yes, your perception
Okay.
is based on your wisdom, unless you have proficiency with it, in which case you get a +2 in addition to whatever your wisdom.
Oh, I do. Thank
What
God.
if I have a -1 to wisdom?
Incredible.
You
for a
put,
druid.
instead of +2, you put -1, my dear.
Okay.
I love it.
Oh boy.
Red Cat has eyes that can see all.
All right, so I'm
Red Cat
going to
is-
say Daisy, you've sort of been like bumbling around and you're like excited to be here, but you don't notice anything off. I'm gonna say that Eroxias and all right, hang on. It's gonna take me just a little bit to figure out who's who again. So let's actually start with King Tuna first. King Tuna, you notice that like Bernard is sort of like glancing over a couple of times at Eroxias, and you can tell that like it's pretty common in Einquell for toons to be running around, but they actually aren't very used to having someone like even humankind, much less fully dragonborn, come up and then offer assistance. So they're not even like unnerved, but they're like just, whoa, that's kind of interesting. Meanwhile, Red Cat and Eroxias, first of all, you do notice him like glancing over at Eroxias a couple of times, but you can just tell sort of in his tone of voice and the way he's talking and the way his little girl is like nestled into his fur, but like just a little bit sheepishly. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum. There's a little bit more history with this tomb than might be interpreted just straight off the nose. He says, so me and my dearest beloved daughter Willa, and the white sheep that's again sheepishly nestled into his it's not fur. Wool. Thank the stars for you guys having brain cells, because I only have so many apparently.
Understandable.
Oh no, I don't have any either. I just said the first thing that came to mind.
You're doing so good. Nestled into his wool, like waves at you, and to be very clear, she's so cute. She's just extremely cute. And she's like clearly not just a cute toon kind. She's also young. So she's his daughter, and like not like 16 or anything. She's like 8 or something. So
oh my god,
she's in addition to being a little bit sheepish, but she's also like a little bit shy. So he says, the reason I chose to start actually getting rid of this problem is I've had something of a run-in with this particular tomb before, and like you can see him going into flashback mode because he like sits and his eyes are really far away. And then he comes back, and you guys have all seen zilch. You have no idea what he just flashbacked through.
Totally tuned out.
I'm just imagining like the sequence of just like the music just immediately stops for a good 30 seconds. Everyone's kind of awkwardly glancing at him and at each other and just like, okay, and then like he comes back. Music starts
It
again.
does like that ripple effect on his face. I think it's gonna be a flashback, but it just like comes back to him.
King Tuna
Exactly.
kind of waves a hand in front of his face like, hello, darling, are you with us still?
I want to be clear. Unfortunately, Bernard does not even blink until he's done with his flashback. So you can wave your hand all you like, but he's not coming until he's back through. And he says,
Curious.
but that is similar but different to the case we find ourselves with. You see, this tomb that is nearby used to be a great place of worship and so forth, but about a generation ago, it decided that it just didn't want to be what it was, and decided it wanted to become a place of skeletons and horrors. So, we really can't have that. There were some... Yes?
I'm sorry, you say that it's decided this?
Well, okay, to be fair to the tomb, It was sealed off that couple of generations ago when the skeletons and horrors decided to make mockeries of their religion, but it became a problem recently because a few months ago there was some bandits, and those bandits opened the tomb, and that was the thing that we're not going to talk about, and you can see Will, like, absolutely, like, chomping at the bit to say something, and then they, like, sort of lean down, like, not in that, like, I'm scared to talk, but in that, like, okay, you specifically told me not to say it, so I'm not gonna say it. And, they say, so, what I would ask you for to do is come to some agreement with the people within the tomb, because there are some youngsters who have got the idea in their heads that they want to go back to worshipping the cycle of life in spite of the fact that all the religious leaders decided to abandon the fact that death should come when it's due and make themselves immortal skeletons and also fight people whenever they come around.
That's just
and-
rude.
Yes, it's...
Well,
And
if there's
Bernard, like, gets
anyone...
indignant, like, it's terribly rude!
Well, if there's anyone that can help us all to reach an agreement, it is me, King Tuna. I will do my best, darling. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it.
I thank you
I would
so
like to help
kindly.
too.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yes.
Iris just kind of like, wait, we just gotta like talk it out with them.
Yes, that would be the best idea, I think.
Very much like that.
Yes, diplomacy is always the best option, dear.
Oh, that doesn't sound too hard.
Well, and Bernard is like thinking back and like, I would absolutely not be opposed to you trying it. My main end goal is let some of these young whippersnappers who don't care about the fact that these people decided to try and make themselves immortal and make their religion look very silly. I just don't want them to get hurt whenever they go along to this tomb. And they scowl and like steam starts coming from their head, and it's like they clearly hate this tomb, but they sort of bounce up back like, but it doesn't matter what I think, it matters that they are safe. So if you can talk to the living dead and somehow come to an agreement, that would be great. But if you just decided to bash them all over the head and get it over with, I am not opposed to that either.
That could be arranged.
No,
And
no,
then, like,
no.
and like then Ted just slings out a giant axe that's like 3 times the size of him.
He's just like,
King Tuna pats Red Cat's head. No, there's no need for violence here. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. I will sort things out.
I mean, we could help out too, you know.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to belittle any of you.
Alright, Bernard claps his hooves together and says, excellent, phenomenal. I am so glad I will be able to have this weight off my mind because you four will definitely succeed. And they like put just a little bit too much emphasis on it, even though you can like sort of tell they're being genuine. It's just like a little bit like it feels a little bit like a dig. Unintentional dig, but just a little.
You like Red Cat just kind of like seems like he doesn't register, his eye twitches a little bit.
And
Absolutely sure.
And as you agree to help Bernard the Black Sheep, he leads you outside and gives you directions to the old Cycle of Life tomb, which is past the forest of Nortero, which Bernard had mapped out a few months before during the incident, which, again, Willa, the daughter on his shoulder, is, like, perking up and then, like, sinks back like, ugh, but Dad told me not to talk about it. So,
aw.
he gives you each a healing potion, which y'all should mark down in your equipment or in your notes, either way.
Oh, dang, I don't have paper for notes. 1 second.
Oh, there's like a note
I'll
segment
write
in
it
there.
down.
Oh,
The note
DMV.
segment in... Oh, on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
Okay.
convenient.
Super.
I imagine so. Okay.
Okay. I probably should have muted when I typed.
It gives us very good ticketa sound effects.
All right. Now, mere hours after the sun has risen in a natural divot in the valley, you hide among the edges of the forest and gaze at the opening of the Cycle of Life tomb. Two beings stand in front of the door, blocking your way and eerily still. Even though they semi-appear toon-kind, they are very clearly skeletal in nature. These must be at least the guards of the tomb which Bernard was talking about. What, may I ask, do you do?
King Tuna
Ooh.
immediately saunters forward,
Oh my God.
jauntily. And
Oh
he's
god.
like, well, hello there!
And Red Cat puts his hands in his face.
We've been tasked to, help everyone reach a little agreement because it seems as though, there's been certain problems going on between the little town and the, tomb here, and everyone inside and around. So we were hoping we could speak with whoever might be in charge around here and reach some sort of agreement to help everyone, I don't know, find peace? Oh my! I see you're not very, how should I say? Not very eloquent with your words.
It's pretty clear at this point that these skeletons, even as they're undead, are not filled with soul. These skeletons are sort of, well, they neither have heart nor brain, and this is clear in their posture as well as their skeletal nature. They sort of like start moving towards you. Although they don't actually leave their position. They just like start angling forward like, is this guy gonna be a problem? Is this gonna be a problem? but they haven't really reacted to anything that you've said except to reacting to the fact that you are talking to them and not going away as they've rattled at you menacingly.
Wait, could I actually maybe try and, like, intimidate them in turn? Like, kinda...
Oh boy.
You certainly can, should,
Oh my
and
God.
must, now that you've suggested it.
Time for some.
Yeah, so yeah, he's gonna just, like, kinda step up and, like, sorta, you know, grab up, like, one of his axes and sort of, like, wave it at them, kinda like, just, you know, like when you're trying to shoot, like, a raccoon or something, like, hey, scram, get out of there. Should I go ahead and, like, roll a fucking intimidation check?
Please do.
Oh boy.
Big scary dragon boy.
An 11. I should have pulled out the rules a little bit earlier now, shouldn't I have? Give me 1 second, you guys. I am so sorry. I swear I
It's
thought I
okay.
had them.
It's okay.
It's chill, dude.
Stars. Okay. Next time I'll remember to have these out because I need...
Just imagine like the rest of the group doing that hiding behind the tree gag where like they go behind the tree, they're gone.
Well, King Tuna's still standing there,
Yeah.
as he sees the, dragon.
No, none of these are the difficulty that I need. Where is the...
Oof.
I am so sorry, guys. It's somewhere.
It's
in here.
okay.
It's okay.
It's not playing nice.
Chill, dude.
I need to find a term, but apparently it's a lot... Stars. Okay. D&D... Skill check. There we go. Stars. Okay. So sorry about that.
Oh,
all
you're
good.
fine.
Alrighty. So I am going to say I'm sorry, and 11 isn't going to do it. But I am going to say that it could do it for someone else. So you sort of see in the skeletons like, and you sort of get the feeling like they don't understand. Like, they understand you're threatening them. They don't understand the concept of you possibly being more powerful than them. It seems like these skeletons are so caught up in the magic of what they are, there's no part of them left. So you're sort of going to have to fight your way through these guys in order to get through to somebody who might be intelligent enough to let you continue.
Well,
So
then.
King Tuna, seeing that he's not going to be able to get through to these skeletons, just sort of gives them a distasteful look, and then he turns to the others and he says, "Well, these folks aren't going to seem to reason. Could you please dispose of them?"
Oh, you're not gonna do it yourself?
I'm afraid not. I have many better things. I'm a diplomat, darling. I'm not suited for combat.
You know,
Of course you're not.
don't-
Comes the axe again.
Daisy
Yeah,
just
I
kind
don't
of shrugs.
pokes at Tuna. Is like, yeah, he's a bit too squishy to
I would appreciate if you would refrain from touching me. He starts to dust himself off where you touched him. He's like, "I am very important. I'd rather not get dirty."
Oh, you have just... This is the worst dude to be with Red Cat right now. Because he reminds me so much of his partner, his old TV partner, and he's trying to keep
Oh,
himself
no.
controlled.
Oh damn.
On
Daisy's just
that
kind of have in the
note-
background like,
Like, this is fine, this is a new guy, it's fine, everything's fine.
yeah.
On that note, please roll initiative.
Oh,
All right.
boy. Where's my, that's a 20.
It should
Alright.
be
D20
right at the top
plus...
on your combat
Oh,
sheet.
Banish.
Intimidation. Plus 2.
I was
Or
about to
initiative,
use that in
rather.
the wrong chat.
Oh, fucking my
I have done that so many times, don't you worry.
I cannot see my initiative. I have like a physical sheet, but it's on the other side.
West
of
Cat
the-
hasn't... Whoops, wrong cat. I have so many cat characters with cat at the end of the name.
Cat. I have at least one going.
Red Cat
Moment,
is
I'm gonna.
not
so
furious
just-
yet.
Where the heck is?
Red Cat's
I
not
have
ready
a
for
plus 2
rage.
to initiative. Okay. Sorry, it took me way too long. That is
Yeah, like
a
1920s,
15.
1930s music playing in the
Wait,
background.
17.
Okay, so that puts... Okay, so we ignore the 11. So Manny got a nat 20.
What?
Woo!
Red...
I wasn't quite paying attention to it, but yeah.
Red Cat.
First he'd go first.
Then Daisy. And then... Wait. Red Cat, Daisy... King Tuna, and... Aerodax. Do you want to go with the whoever has the ability score modifier goes first, or do you want to play rock, paper, scissors really quick to determine which one of you goes next?
Nah, it's fine. Just go with
I
the ability score.
I don't care.
Alright, so that's Eero. I'm going to short it down to Eero, and then King.
Yeah, no, yeah. Usually, actually, like, people usually call him Iro because it's just a lot easier.
And it's cute. And then we have Skele 1, and then we have Skele 2, but because he got a nat 1, he's so surprised that you guys, like, after they rattled themselves at you, you guys
Just like,
actually are fighting them. He loses an entire round of ability to do anything, because he is surprised. this is the initiative order. I'm going to go ahead and pin this message for this fight.
Okay.
So
Oh,
if
gosh.
you look up on Discord up top, you will see a pin thing, and that'll just real quick tell you the order. So, Red, you have 2 skeletons who are rattling menacingly at your gang, but you have the drop on them. What do you do?
I'm gonna take my big axe and hit the first one on the left.
The one.
Big great axe.
Quick and to the point. I like it.
All right, roll for it.
Okay. What's the oh? I gotta do 1d20 first. Okay.
Yep.
Or d20,
hit,
right?
Whatever to damage.
Dang.
A 14 is going to do it. You hit.
All right. I have to remember to not put 1 in front of it because the other dice bot does that. SAT.
Oh,
Not
and
used to this.
did you... That would actually be an 18. Don't forget to add your attack bonus as well.
Oh, okay.
Don't
I'll do
bother
it.
with it for this time because a 14 would go to an 18 and that would definitely hit.
Okay.
But you just have to roll damage right now. But next time, don't forget.
Yep.
You're doing great.
Oof. You just conked them.
Oh my god, it's one of those attacks where like slams it into the ground and then it pops up. They're like a big puddle of bones for a second. Then it goes back up.
Exactly. He sort of like they sort of like reconstruct themselves very quickly, and it's like so quick you can tell that like you hurt them, but you didn't like hurt them. They're still rattling at you, and now they're specifically rattling at you. But next up is Daisy, so
Ooh,
they
yes,
can't do
gosh.
anything at least for a while.
Huh.
Daisy, what would you like to do?
Fertilizer, so this is kind of a very much new experience for her. But she does have a shovel, and she's going to use it to the best of her ability, and it's technically a quarterstaff. It's most of a shovel. Oh gosh. I want to say I want to cast Shillelagh
Alrighty.
my shovel. This is my first time trying this, which means that, gosh, help me over. It's imbue the wood of a club or quarterstaff you're holding with nature's power for the duration. Use my spellcasting ability instead of strength, and the weapon's damage die becomes a D8, and it also makes it magic.
Excellent.
Magic shovel.
Magic shovel.
Okay, my spellcasting modifier. Gosh, I'm clicking between so many tabs. Hoo-hoo, bear with me here, guys.
You're doing
worries.
just fine.
Which spellcasting? Oh gosh,
I believe
how did
it's
I
a
manage to
+1 because your wisdom is -1. So the modifier would become +1 with the +2 of proficiency.
Oh, I guess. Well, I don't know how I managed to get like a druid with negative intelligence who's all beef.
I just
So that's-
realized that King Tuna's wisdom modifier is -1. He has 8 wisdom.
We're in the same boat.
Yeah,
My
He
wisdom.
has
I don't have any
18.
modifiers.
He has 18 plus 4 intelligence, and then like 7 wisdom.
Oh, fantastic!
I've
High intelligence, low wisdom. I dig that.
same. I'm like low intelligence, low wisdom, 10
Only book
wisdom.
smart.
And
All right, Hoodie, do you
But
want to
okay.
do another action because that's a bonus action which you can take for free,
Oh,
so you could still move around. Thus far, it actually seems like Manny and King Tuna, Red Cat and King Tuna are actually right up there. Well, let me explain the scenario a little bit. King Tuna
Okay.
started out there, and then Iro started like brandishing their own axe at the skeletons, and then Red Cat ran up. But technically, even though you've cast Shillelagh, you still could be in the underbrush if you want to do something over there, or you could just come up with your quarterstaff and go spell magic plow.
I'll go for the spell magic put out. I gotta
Alrighty.
figure out what to roll the. It's a D1D. I do not know. A 1D8, is it? Plus
It's
one?
gonna be 1d20, but that d8 becomes your attack damage. It becomes
Okay.
your damage rather than your attack. Let me be a little bit clearer.
Okay. Okay, so 1D20.
Oof, that's a nat 1.
Oh.
Uh,
All right, I am going to be nice while also being mean. I think
Go for
what
it.
I think what happens on a nat 1 is, first of all, you don't do any damage, my friend. I think
That's
second
fair.
of all, what happens is, instead of your shillelagh like powering up your attack, I think your shillelagh kind of like poof, and
It wilts.
Yes.
first of all, shillelagh, you're gonna have to recast shillelagh before you can use it again, because the spell like shattered at that. But also, you're
yeah.
gonna take 3 points of damage from the spell like misfiring
My
that bad.
girl.
I'm just
Oh,
imagining
no.
the staff doing the pff and then just turning to rubber.
It's like
And
It
like you
starts to
can shake
blow.
it back up to normal, but that'll like have to wait until your
Yeah.
turn.
so I'm at 3. I'm bad at math.
29?
I'm at 20.
No, not 21. No,
One.
19.
Yeah.
You know, 29.
I'm somehow
We're
getting
19 and
10
29.
more. It's all good. But yeah, Daisy kind of like she's gearing up to like jump out of the bush, holds it high, and it starts to like glow green. The vines on the shovel bloom a little bit, but then it suddenly just kind of goes, and she trips and lands flat on her face.
Oh.
Don't worry,
She's
buddy.
like,
We'll
"I'm
get you your
good."
cool moment.
She's trying her best.
All right, Iro, you're next up. Let's show them how it's done. What do you want to do?
I guess I'm just gonna bonk one of the skeletons just on the head with the hand axe.
Bonk.
Sounds good to me. Roll for it. And your attack bonus is +6, so like, wow.
Holy moly. Strong.
A 9 is not gonna make it
Buff.
past their AC. They're like, again, if they could have been intimidated by you, they might have been. But at this point, when you like smack against their worn and tattered armor, they sort of like just shake it off and then like, except with less wetness because that was supposed to be a teeth rattling, not a cheek rattling. Don't worry about it.
Click, click.
Click, 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 click.
Bruh.
Which means that King Tuna is next. Are you ready to show these people how it's done?
Yeah, King Tuna rolls his eyes and sighs dramatically, and he's like, "Of course I'd be put with the fighters who can't even fight. Fine then, I guess it's my turn." He reaches in his little purple cape, and there's a little golden pocket in there, specifically reserved for a can of tuna. He pulls out and opens, and then he pulls out this giant tuna, and
Whoa.
is gonna let's see. What spells? He is going to point the tuna at one of the skeletons. It doesn't matter which one, and he is going to use magic missile.
Magic
classic.
missile.
Nice.
So that one always hits, and then what do I roll for that one again?
D4 +1. Force damage.
Okay. Oh.
Don't forget, no spaces.
Oh, okay. Should I roll again?
Yeah, go ahead. You
Okay.
got a 1, so like.
Only a wow. Okay. Oh wait, I forgot it's a D4, not a D20. I was very disappointed for a second.
No, you did good.
Okay.
I believe that missile shoots for the skeleton who's already been damaged and deals a hefty 4 points of damage. And now the skeleton's like, it like tries to do the same gag of like pulling itself together, but like it's clearly not doing so well, and it's like whatever tuniness was sort of left in these bones is like deteriorating. Wow. Further and further as it sort of like pulls itself together. Like even before it didn't make any sense, but now it's like losing its very being. And now, unfortunately, it is that skeleton's turn, even though the other skeleton is still flabbergasted. And they are going to pull out their short sword from behind their sheath. From within their sheath? That one.
Something like that.
And let's see. I believe they're going to attack Red Cat because...
Yeah.
It seems like King is gonna be like a little bit further back, so that's a 14. Does that hit your armor class?
Yes, my armor class is 13.
Alrighty, only just barely hit. D6 plus 1. So you receive 2 points of damage.
That's nothing.
Oof.
He's had worse.
Don't tell the skeletons that, man.
Yeah.
Don't hurt
He just
their
has
own
just like
feelings.
he kind of like gets hit, but it's like, funny. And just
Laugh it off.
yeah.
Oop, I forgot the explanation point. That's important.
Yell it into the void.
Okay. We've got Red again.
Fantastic. Come at me.
No, it's your turn. You get to
Oh.
come at them.
Okay, I'm going to hit the one that just hit me.
All right, roll for it, my
Finish him
friend.
off. All right. D2. Plus, it was what is my? What was it again? Like, where do I find that?
Your attack bonus should be right next to your weapon.
Oh,
You'll see like
plus 4. Okay. Great axe. Ah.
Just
Just smashes. Nothing happens. It's like that smash where like slams it, and then like upon pulling back, like the skeleton just spins around in a circle, kind of like when Patrick was hitting SpongeBob because of the spiders.
no. Hold on, a 14 hits.
What?
A
No, I
14
got a 10.
hits.
No, I have it. I thought I got a 10.
No, but you also add your.
oh
Oh, I did see the blue. Okay.
yeah, look at the blue.
Yeah.
I made that same mistake. Don't worry.
You were doing so fine. So roll damage.
Great.
I'm not used to this chatbot.
Same.
It comes slow to everybody, I promise.
Yeah.
But it comes.
Oh wait, no. 1d12 plus 2. 11. 11 damage. I got one from 1 to 11.
All right, which skeleton were you attacking? The one that
The
attacked
one that
you?
yes, which is the one that's already kind of damaged, right?
Yes, it just, man, that
Shatters.
skeleton was like rattling at you, and it just like evaporates. Like the bones are so old, it like literally sort of like collapses in on itself and just
Turns to a dust pile.
turns into a dust pile straight up. And the other skeleton like has been rattling the whole time, like, what's going on? I don't understand. They look at the other skeleton and like you see the briefest spark of like actual tuniness as their eyes like go wide. And then they like rattle back at you, so it's clear they're not like thinking still, but
little
you
bit
saw
like,
the
oh, man.
briefest hint. Alrighty, next up is Daisy.
Oh yeah, Daisy's kind of peeled herself up off the ground, got a little extra dirt smudged on her face, shakes herself off, and is like, "Guess I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. just picks up her now unmagicked shovel, and runs at the nearest skeleton and just whacks it.
All right,
Plain
roll
old
for it.
fashioned quarterstaff. That's the 20.
Your attack bonus is
plus-
also +4.
Yeah. What's your magic? For real.
Oh my
Okay,
dear.
get the bad rolls out. It's fine. Oh, this poor
You just-
girl.
My friend, you're going to get better rolls in this game, I promise, but you
Yes.
just whiff.
Yes.
You just
You're getting the bad rolls out early.
so your
Yeah.
shovel like
Um,
slams into the ground, and the shovel like sort of like personifies for a second and looks at you like, yes, I hit dirt. That's what I'm good for. like half an inch away from where the skeleton's head was. And so like the shovel is like, I know the shillelagh didn't work, but I'm good. And it hit the dirt instead of the skeleton. It like did that thing in cartoons where like it tries to hit something and then it like jerks to the side, and that was the shovel trying to hit the dirt.
yeah.
King Tuna's just like, don't worry, you'll get it eventually, darling.
Before anybody else comes along, you hear a, well, I told ya we really shouldn't have left them alone. And I would like Iro, specifically, to make a perception check.
Who's making a perception check?
Iro,
What?
Kihu Peanut. I'm gonna say a 13 is good enough. You look to the side of this battle, and you see two like full sets of armor, and then you like turn back around because clearly they were here for a while because they're all old and rusty, and then you turn back and like squint at them because they definitely weren't there before, even as they're old and rusty. And then the armor moves. And you see sort of like what looks like almost ears on one's helmet, and the other has like a bill sort of shaped protection helmet. And one of them and the one with the ear sort of leans on the tomb wall and says, well, what's up, Tomb Raiders?
I'm sorry?
King Tuna looks over and surprised, and he says, "Excuse me? Oh, hello! So finally, someone who I can properly speak with."
Properly
Ira's
speak
kinda
with? Properly speak with? The one with this sort of duck-billed shaped helmet like turns to the other one and says, these schmucks think they can properly speak with us after they've destroyed one of our buddies. Well, it sure looks like that. We might want to hear them out. And the duckbill one goes, no way! I gotta teach these guys what's what! And he flings himself towards you. I'm afraid, Mr. King, he actually specifically flings himself towards you because you were the one who dared say that perhaps you could parlay after you shattered one of these thoughtless skeletons.
Wait, are
King-
where are we
King
within
Tuna-
like
oh.
are we within 5 feet of each other?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, yeah, so I like, yeah, Ira always kinda has his shield out, so could I use protection?
You sure can, and I suggest it.
Yeah, let me just get over to where it's located.
Before he like this living armor even gets to him, he's kind of like shrieking out, "No, please! I can't possibly get harmed. I'm supposed to be here to. This wasn't supposed to be a dangerous mission. Please."
Oh.
Yeah, that's just, I guess, a disadvantage.
That is a great thing to place upon this little guy. Oof, does a 19 still hit though? King?
Oh, 19. Well, King Tuna doesn't have any armor, so.
Oh, damn.
Alrighty, let me see. So that's going to up here. Watch as I have to remember what my die rolls are. So that's D6 plus 2. You take 4 damage, and the duck build helmet and armor sort of like cloings their weapon upon you, and only after you like look at the weapon do you see that it's not actually like a sword or a mace or anything. It's a frying pan, and they sort of like blink back at themselves like, that wasn't supposed to happen. But before they can rationalize that, now it's Iro's turn.
Yeah,
Iro,
yeah,
you've just had 2 more people jump up upon you. What do you do?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go after the duck-billed dude. I think I'm actually gonna. Oh wait, never. Or yeah, I think I'll try and go for poison.
All
It's,
right, you sure can try.
It's a 15-foot cone. It's a DC con save for 12.
Oh, these guys are immune to poison because they're armor, so they're not like they don't have anything that can get poisoned. But I'm not gonna make you spend that because I should have warned you earlier. So do you want to do something else? You could just hit them.
Yeah, I am gonna go ahead and just with the hand axe, just go ahead and hit him.
Monk.
Hit him regularly.
It seems like the go-to.
Indexes do pretty good.
Alright, then roll for it. And yours is a +6. I just can't get over how high that is.
Ooh.
An 8's not gonna do it, I'm afraid.
Ooh.
even
Get the
with
bad rolls
+6,
out.
it's-
Ugh.
So you swing, and you actually have an axe, which might be what the duck-billed helmet was sort of hoping for, but regardless, you swing, and you miss.
Yeah, just like kind of chunk into the ground or wall or something, and like it's just stuck in there.
You'll be able to get it out by next turn, but you won't be able to get it out until next turn. All right, King, you have been attacked. Now what?
King Tuna just stares at this living armor and like really startled, and then it turns to like anger, like his crown has been knocked askew, and he pushes it back up right onto the top of his head, and he goes, "Excuse me! How dare you? I did not ask. Listen. Perhaps we can still come to an arrangement. I did not deal the final blow on that skeleton. Now would you please apologize and leave me alone before I'm forced to do something drastic?" He doesn't attack yet. He's just living.
The other skeleton,
cat
who is
race.
still alive, goes, and it appears like the duck-billed animated armor is like just so flabbergasted by the fact that it's a pan. It's a pan? Why is it a pan? He wasn't gonna pull out a pan, that they're not listening. But the one that has 2 feathers that look like ears sort of like listens to you. And they're still sort of leaned on the side of the tomb, and they're like, if you explain what you're doing here, then, should my skeleton friends be wrong, we could maybe... And the skeleton tries to rush towards you because the skeleton doesn't have a brain. It doesn't know what the word stop means. I'm gonna say you still have your turn, but you have one skeleton coming towards you.
Without really looking at it, King Tuna just kind of flings his giant tuna at it to hit it.
Excellent.
He's
Roll for
staring
it.
angrily at this armor, so... Oh, wait, that's the wrong thing. Okay. Exclamation mark first.
And don't worry, you're doing great.
Okay, 15.
15 is
Dang.
not gonna do it either. These
no.
people are surprisingly good at this.
Bro, they're beefy.
They've been skeletoning a while.
So, King Tuna tries to hit it.
But you were trying to hit the skeleton, and that does
Yeah.
hit the skeleton. I am so
Okay.
sorry. Brain
Yeah,
just
okay.
decided to take a pause. So roll for damage.
That would be a D4 with the club, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So. One damage.
One
Amazing.
damage. Your tuna
It's damage.
flings across and totally nails the skeleton, and then sort of like bounces off its chest plate armor.
Slides and
So it's more like a stop where you're going instead of actually hitting it. It's just like, stop right there, I'm talking.
Like just flipping it back, like doing like a back toss.
Fish slap.
Slaps on there.
Yeah.
Slides down.
Yeah.
All right. The skeleton is not entirely dissuaded, but it's dissuaded from attacking you.
ooh,
Let me see. I think Manny is closest to as wherever it was rushing towards. So I think Manny, it turns to you and tries to attack. D20
oh dang it.
plus 2. Why nat 20 now? Game? Hey, game, it's me, the DM. I didn't want that. I'm not trying to kill anybody here.
I'm okay
Why?
with being the meat shield. It's all good. He's built for this. Slapstick all the time. This is nothing to him.
Well, prepare to get slapped, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Oh,
6 plus 2. Wow, that even naturally gave you an 8. So,
8 damage.
yeah, let's say 8 damage. The
Okay.
skeleton, like, brings down its short sword and, like, totally nails you, like, across the shoulder. And, like, your arm flops off for a bit, but before anybody can get worried that, like, this is going to be really graphically rated, your arm, like, crawls back up and, like, reattaches itself. And then the skeleton, like, almost looks impressed. Like they can do that, but that's impressive.
Actually, what I'm thinking is that it attacks the arm. It stretches like a rubber band, and like the arm gets really, really long, and then just plop down on the ground. Then just kind of coils back in, like, and then just flails back like normal.
Perfect.
spaghetti.
And then like Red Cat just sees that, just kind of has a stare of like, huh, and looks at him, and it's just kind of like if he could grin, he would be grinning right now. Just like that smile to like, oh, you just, honey, you got a big storm coming. Smile.
Excellent. All right. So the feather-eared skeleton,
Ooh.
not skeleton, armor doesn't do anything. They keep leaning on the wall. They're not approaching. They're not attacking. They're not stopping this. But they're not attacking either. They just wait. So once again, now it's up to you, Red Cat, and I bet you're mad.
Oh yeah. Not enough. Still not enough for a rage, but he is my target now. Goodbye. Gonna hit him with the great axe.
Get him.
Get him! Get him!
6,
Y'all
4,
kind of cut.
4.
You're kind of cutting out a little bit. Oh,
15.
15 against the skeleton will hit. Give me damage.
Oh yeah, right. I keep forgetting.
You're doing fine. Don't worry.
I'm so used to like this in Roll20. I have been spoiled. plus. I've done this like 3 times. I should know it by now. All right. Yeehaw, 13.
A 13? Okay, so this skeleton was like fine before you. Like it had King Tuna's tuna hit it for like a point of damage, but it was fine. You evaporate this skeleton. It doesn't. Yes.
Was that a party popper?
Yes, I have like 50 of them.
That's
Because I got impulsive
fantastic.
one night.
And I want to be
Y'all,
clear.
I gotta
like,
go real quick, y'all. BRB. I'm muting
Okay.
real quick. Sorry to be unprofessional.
No
No,
worries.
you're
Oh, it's
fine.
okay.
I want to be clear. Like, there's a
2
bit of a
minutes.
dust explosion when you like hit this guy, but there's not dust left on the ground. It's just evaporated. So like the dust was like poof, but then it was gone. There is nothing left of the skeleton.
Oh,
For
Whoops.
Red Cat the Destroyer.
like this turns back around, just like, oh, I think one of your other friends is dead. I'm sorry about that.
All right. Hoodie, I think, would be next as Daisy, but Daisy is currently occupied with trying to like console their shovel because, like, yes, you did really good, shovel, even though that wasn't what I wanted you to do. That was really good. So Duckbill sort of like stands up and finally gets his bearings around him, but instead of turning to you, he like turns around and stomps back up to Feather Ears and goes, "What was that?" Feather Ears sort of goes, "Well, I believe that's what you call a frying pan." "I know what a frying pan is! Where are my weapons?" "Well, you seem pretty inconvenienced by them, so I just figured I'd help a hand. Besides, these people might have fought the skeletons, but they don't seem to be attacking us if we don't attack them. You want to hear them out?" "I don't want to hear them out! I want to protect the tomb!" and in an extremely toonish and extremely intelligent seeming move, Feather Ear sort of like massages their helmet where the eyebrows would be. Just like, okay, what if we talk to them and then if they're bad, we continue on with the fighting? How's that? And like before Duckbill Helmet can like respond, they like push Duckbill aside and say, "All right, I'm sorry you had to deal with our less intelligent associates. And they sort of like stare at the dust like it's a whole thing. What did you want? Are you like the bandits from earlier who tried to rob the tomb, or you?"
King Tuna shakes his head. "Oh, heavens, no! We are
Absolutely
just here on a diplomatic mission to clear out any problems or issues between this tomb and the town. That is all we came here to do. Thank you."
Yes.
Dizzy's.
He's still a little bit miffed about being hit.
I mean, who wouldn't be, to be fair to him?
Yeah.
And like you could see like Feather Ears like again very tunishly like sort of shrinks a little bit and their ears like sort of go down like, "I don't see really why the town would be bothered to deal with the tomb unless they were raiding the tomb." And Duckbill goes, yeah, so it seems like all you guys would want is to raid the tomb considering what happened. So like, and then Duckbill like sort of like realizes they lost their temper and sort of like scoots back a little bit, but their hands are on their hips. They're ready. And Feather Ears goes, "What exactly does the town want?"
Apparently, an incident happened.
Mint
The bartender and his daughter, something like that. Like he had a whole flashback thing, but just no idea what.
Yes, that would
Something
be.
happened.
And like the two suits of armor look at each other, and Manny specifically, roll insight for me.
Okay. Right, what's my insight? Insight. I don't have anything to add to that. Cool.
A 4. They
Ooh. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Something
Well,
like
King Tuna has a proficiency in insight.
You want to go ahead and roll? Manny, from your
Yeah.
perspective, like, something passes between their eyes, and you can, like, almost see what passes between their eyes. To the point that you don't actually pay attention to what their, like, faces are somewhat saying, what their body language is saying, so you don't get anything from it.
King Tuna got a nat 20.
Tuna got
Nice.
a nat 20.
Holy shit, he
Tuna
did.
insights
That's
all.
buggers.
Tuna can see. They're
He
like
sees everything.
they're not just like, ooh, that was bad. They're like embarrassed, like whatever happened at the tomb, something bandits, something. They're like sheepish that it happened, and they're like trying to fight with like looking powerful and important in front of you so that you don't raid their tomb, and also feeling really bad that whatever happened specifically with the bandits happened.
Okay, so King
Yeah.
Tuna kind of holds his hands up in a little bit of a placating gesture. He's like, I mean, if you know what's going on, please do tell. We just wish to clear out any ill will between the tomb and the town, and just clear up any issues. Nobody is mad. Nobody is going to get hurt as long as we can just take care of this civilly, like people, please.
Duckbill sort of like rubs the back of their head and is like, well, I doubt there's not any ill will between us and the town, but Feather Ear like turns back to you and goes, okay, you're trying to reestablish communications? Do they want to use the tomb?
Honestly, I don't know anything about that. I got the gist of everything. I understand that there's ill will, that there was some sort of incident, but I don't know if they're wanting to do anything with the tomb or whatnot. They're just, something happened, and we want to clear out any issues.
And Featherhat sort of sighs and goes, well, and they like turn to Duckbill and goes, it's really time we faced it, isn't it? And Duckbill like goes, no, but I don't wanna. And Featherhat like sort of smacks him on the back in what could be interpreted as a come on gesture, and instead clearly a get yourself together gesture, and goes, all right. Long ago, and then Duckbill nudges it and goes, a generation ago, and Feather Ear like nudges back like, please shut up and let me tell the story. We were members of the cycle of life. Probably the reason anybody would want access to the tomb is to either destroy us relics who have broken the tenets of the cycle of life in order to live forever, or to actually perhaps use the tomb as it is in order to worship. If either of those are true, I can't say I blame them, but I would have to stop them for the first. You see, even though we are undead, we are still alive. And they again look at the dust cloud, and you can actually see, like, just in the way they're acting, they're really kind of sad, and like, even if the process didn't exactly make all of us as alive as some of us. And they sort of like slump, and you can see like they're actually like really depressed like this. Like they've actually thought about all this stuff, and they go, the ritual that we did wasn't right, first of all. But second of all, it meant that we cannot harm any of those who are bound by the ritual. But there are others within the tomb who have deteriorated past who they were, and if the villagers promise not to harm those of us that are alive, and you can manage to take care of those that haven't kept themselves together, we could probably come to an agreement. And you can sort of tell, like, just from the way they keep looking at the skeletons, it seems like all the people who, like, broke the rules were at least knew each other. So, like, they're saying we can't kill the people that we knew, whether it be by ritual, which is what they're saying, or maybe because they can't kill their friends. But if you can clear out the rest of the skeletons, and the village can make sure not to harm those that are sentient enough not to hurt them, then they could come to an agreement.
We can do that.
King Tuna nods along and he's like, "Of course, darling. We just want peace. We just want everyone to be happy. And there may be a reward in store. But
And the two knights sort of like look at each other like, and they sort of like, and they come back to you like, okay, so there is one thing. You will also have to talk to all of the people who are still sentient, and we could come to help you talk about the fact that the skeletons just aren't really here anymore, but there's a ritual that we can no longer do to get access to absolutely everyone. So you're one of you is going to have to help us with that." And they sort of like nod at each other like, "Okay, this is serious. We're doing this." And then they look at you expectantly.
King Tuna nods along and he's like, "Of course, whatever it takes.
Yeah, we can do that.
Absolutely.
If you would, please guide us inside."
And they sort of nod and they start walking along the inside of the tomb. The stone doors appear to have been literally bust open from a while ago. But although there's a little dust in the corners, the place is oddly clean for an abandoned tomb. You have probably encountered the very reason that is true. Still, the air almost tastes old as it wafts out of the tomb because it's still all musty and dry, even as somebody has like come through with a broom. A lot of air just doesn't come through the area considering it's underground in a tomb. After going down a hallway and turning a corner, you come to a large room. Let me actually do that.
It's amazing how clean this is.
And
Yeah.
yes,
Go ahead.
Daisy sneezes once cutely
Oh,
and sniffles.
oh.
It's a bit dusty in here.
the duck-billed suit of armor like looks alternatively proud when somebody says it's nice and clean in here, and then a little sheepish when somebody says it's still dusty, and is like, "Well, you see, we're all taking shifts on cleaning, and there's just a lot, and like we don't care because we don't exactly breathe." And
I don't have a nose.
King Tuna pats the armor's pauldron and says, No, it's fine. This place is lovely, darling.
Oh yeah, I like what you've done with the place.
Maybe a little bit dusty, but no one can blame you for that. Not everyone is a neat freak."
all right, you all come to a large room with massive ornate paintings on the walls, which have been greatly damaged thanks to the test of time. Even with its odd cleanness, cobwebs, water damage, plain old dirt, you name it, it's obscured the walls at some point. Even with the like attempts at cleaning and restoration. The only portion that remains easily legible is a large band of words which encircles the entire room and reads, "As a member of the cycle of life, I solemnly swear to help others through the ups and downs life provides, contact those in key positions, and advocate for those who have broken down along the way, and give those who deny their last laugh the vaudeville hook." There is also a scythe jammed into the doorframe which you are approaching of the next room, which is seemingly jammed by a scrap of what looks like hazmat suit-worthy yellow fabric. Everybody roll a quick perception check for me.
Okie doke. Perception's +2.
Perception.
Nice.
-1, baby.
Giant eyes.
7.
Red Cat's
9.
face is like all eyes. Of course, you can see real good.
Okay, Red Cat and Red Cat alone. You see that neither suit of armor even glances at the quote, which is the only thing that you can really see in this room. And in fact, you notice they're like specifically looking away while trying not to be noticeable. They can't even bear to look at the quote, for whatever reason.
Aw.
What's wrong with the quote? You guys seem to be looking away at that quote up there.
And they both just jolt to a stop, and it's like that very cartoonish, no, we've been caught! And it's like,
Oh.
eventually Duckbill just says, you see, the last segment, that's the part that we broke. And,
Broke.
and Feather Ear, like, completely sumps and says, and that's the part that some of our compatriots have to pay for. And they sort of, like, move around the scythe and continue on, like, not even able to see if you guys are still following behind because they're so ashamed of their past actions.
Aw.
Okay. Red Cat just passed one of them on the back, just like, it's okay.
King Tuna says, well, we all make mistakes, darling. No one can really stick to some sort of oath of, well, whatever. It's not important. Don't worry. What the mistakes you've made in the past are in the past.
They sort of, like, nod along, and, like, one of them acknowledges that you pat them, but they can't even talk anymore. Next, you come up past the scythe. Actually, do you guys try to move past the scythe?
I'm
I suppose
genuinely
so.
curious.
Daisy kind of strolls up and is like peering at it.
Alright, roll perception for me.
That's
Wait, can we all?
one. Another
Perception.
20 minus a -1.
You can do it, I believe in you.
No, wait, I goofed it.
You're doing
goofed.
fine.
King Tuna got a 1.
Bruh.
It wasn't
A 9.
a critical fail, but because they got 2 -1.
Seeing everyone go over there, Red Cat's also gotta check it out. Is it perception?
Yes.
Okay, so it's
Got me a
plus
whole-
2.
Please get a good roll.
I guess King Tuna didn't even go over there. He's not even looking over there. He's still looking up at the quote and pondering.
Daisy just kind of like strolled and like ended up looking past it and is like still trying to read the inscription.
Alright, so Red Cat, you can see that it is actually completely safe to go through this chamber, even though there's like a trap on it, which is what attached to the scythe, because the scythe is so firmly jammed in the door by this yellow fabric that, like, when the suits of armor came across, they, like, sort of floated across, so, like, they didn't even register it. But you can see that the scythe is, like, so jammed in that as long as you don't, like, land on the scythe, you can totally, like, even press on the trap and it won't disengage and hit you.
Because it's already disengaged.
Mm-hmm. Well, specifically disengaged and stuck. It could have, like, reset if it had continued on, but it's very stuck.
Like, I kind of tested the trap a few times, kind of taps on it with his foot.
So,
You
Nothing
hear
happens.
grinding, but
Should you
there's
do that?
nothing.
King Tuna wanders over to the rest of the group and he says, "Oh, where are we going now?" And he just kind of wanders in, not even noticing the trap. Really, he sees the scythe and he just wanders on past it.
I think this
Hey,
was set
wait.
off earlier. Huh?
Eh?
I think this was set off.
by
King Tuna looks back and he's like, "What?"
Whoever
he's like-
whoever had the yellow fabric.
He says, "Oh, don't worry about that. We must continue on."
But we can go through this door.
Yeah, I know. I'm going.
Alright.
Okay.
He kind of sighs and like shuffles after. Still looking around.
Alrighty.
Homegirl's nervous.
Oh.
If you're specifically stealthing around, roll stealth for me.
Oh, King Tuna didn't even think about stealth.
Yeah, Iroh
He
is
just
in no
strolled on
way,
in.
shape, or form, like,
Yeah, I'm gonna stealth.
Do it.
This guy has 7 wisdom with his modifier.
What's a
I have
What's
10 wisdom. I'm
stealth?
slightly better at
That's a-
think.
Yeah.
+2?
20 plus what is my stealth?
Oh, I
is also
nailed
plus 2.
that. But finally, I nailed
Nice.
something, and it's
Yay!
That's a
relatively
nat
minor.
20.
oh shit.
Alright, so
Oh,
are
nice.
both of you trying to
Nice.
stealth?
Yes.
Yeah. Daisy's kind of tiptoeing in her big clunky rubber boots, and somehow succeeding.
Red
Alright.
cat crouches down like an actual cat and does like the cat crawl.
I
Aw.
want you guys to stuff that stealth into your pockets because I'm going to be saving it for later.
Okay.
The next room actually doesn't require stealth, but I wanted to see
Oh.
what you would get for when it's next available. Winky
Okay.
face.
Alright.
So, the two animated armors sort of are stationed in place in this room midway through, as this is an even larger room and it sprawls before you. A truly impressive statue on a pedestal stands at the end of it, and the air is even mustier here than in the other rooms. And it's clear that, like, not only has this room not been as exposed to fresh air, but it also hasn't been as maintained as the other rooms, almost like people are avoiding it. On the pedestal, beneath the big statue, bears the words, "If you are to keep this, you must first give it to me."
King Tuna inspects the statue. Should I roll like perception to see if there's any
That would be inspection, right?
or insight? Let's see insight to no.
Investigation would be best.
I don't have investigation as
I mean, you can still roll
as
pretty
a
good with it.
proficiency. Yeah, I could. I don't know what to do. I was gonna. Yeah, I'll go ahead and investigate. I couldn't think. Brain said nope for a minute. Now I got it.
Oh.
13 for investigation.
That's pretty good.
Hey.
Alright, I will give you some more details on that case. The statue bears what looks like a halfling woman who is holding up a circular shaped weapon. It's sort of clear that this person, whoever they are, was very important to the cycle of life as a religious place. On the pedestal, there's the words, "If you are to keep this, you must first give it to me." And so it seems like there's some sort of puzzle. Also, you notice that the armors are not talking or moving or offering you help here. So it seems like you're on your own. Unless you want to go bother them and say, "Hey, help me!"
So King Tuna, first thing he does is he notices it's a halfling, not Toonkind or anything, and they're on the edge of Einquell still. They're still in Einquell, so he's kind of like, that isn't very toony, and he turns to the Dragonborn, and he's like, would you happen to know anything about this? It's very peculiar. You're the only non-toon here, so.
I don't know. Man, I'm not too good on either Toonkind or otherwise information. But wait, could I actually maybe roll a perception or whatever investigation check real quick to see if I know anything?
If you
Or know
want to
anything
see if
about,
you
like-
know anything, I'd roll history. Wait, that is
Okay,
something
yeah.
that you can roll, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait.
Nice.
Miraculously, he actually does know something about this.
Nice.
Nice.
Excellent. So, across your exploration of Inkwell, whether you've been here for a while or not super long, you do know a little bit about the cycle of life as a religion, because although you wouldn't know it from the next town over, it's actually one of the more popular religions within Inkwell. Um, Unfortunately, as you would expect by a town that had a tomb which you could worship, and then all of the religious leaders decided, let's just be immortal forever, the town lost its favor with that particular religion. But you know that this halfling was one of the core founders of this religion as they were discovering Toonkind, and they were one of the people who like held out their hands to the Toonkind. And you know that unrelated to that, they were very dedicated to the concept of giving yourself and having honor. Although you don't know how that would connect.
Yeah, I guess I guess Ira sort of relays that information to know like wait yeah, I think I do. I remember a bit about is there yeah, big ol' important halfling there like I guess a founder of this religion something.
And also, I
they're
do
just
unfortunately have to tell you that part of the reason that you know this is anytime that somebody who isn't a Toonkind comes up in conversation, everybody does sort of lean towards you like, you're not a Toonkind.
Just because he isn't Toonkind doesn't mean he knows it.
Exactly,
Yeah,
but
it's like when you're-
they sort of like
But they're
just
like, "Ooh, outside
unintentionally
knowledge."
throw any information that's related to Toonkind but not from a Toonkind like, here you go. You're not a Toonkind. You'll understand this.
It's just kind of like
It works like that.
You're from that state. You know what that. You know my cousin who lives like 50 miles away.
You know.
It'd be like that.
All right. So what do you do?
King Tuna's gonna like look around the room and see if there's anything else that might help them with this strange statue puzzle thing. He's not really sure what it is, but like, he's looking for something to give to the statue because it said give it to me. So what's he supposed to give? So I'm gonna roll perception, I guess. Sorry, that
That's
was
what I'm
very.
Like what this is.
Yeah.
That was a very long-winded explanation of what he's gonna do.
No.
No, you're
No
looking
worries.
around for something to give to them.
Oh, I forgot the minus.
All right. So that's a 17. But this is also a riddle. So let me ask you. This is a pretty ornate room, and there's a lot of things around. But I'm going to need you to tell me what things can still answer the inscription. If you are to keep this, you must first give it to me.
My very first thought on this, out of character, my very first thought on this was morbid. It was like, give me your life.
Same, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
they
how's
are
that
like
gonna
a
work?
they are
Yeah.
a group that like tries to live forever. Like that sounds pretty valid.
Okay, so, but let's see. I'm thinking about something else because you're probably not asking the characters to die.
Yeah.
Let me be clear.
We
This
established
statue,
all that.
this
That'd be
statue
kind
is
of-
very visibly older than the armors are. It's like the armors are like, within a couple of generations. This statue is very old, even as it was maintained and then left unmaintained. This statue is very old, so it was probably here from the beginning, before the whole incident.
Quick question:
Yes.
How tall is this statue? Like,
It's
how reachable is the pedestal?
So the pedestal is like a foot, and the statue's hand is like high, but if you were to like do anything a little bit out of the ordinary, like stand on somebody's shoulders, you could reach either of their hands.
I could stretch my legs out to be tall for like 2 seconds.
Alright. I was thinking,
I don't know if that would be athletics or
If
just
you
kind
can
of
give
go
me
up like
an
the door, like,
answer
nope.
to the if you can give me an answer to the riddle, I won't make you roll anything.
Uh,
And you
Yeah.
guys can also say, "Hey, I'm stuck."
Yeah.
I am genuinely stuck. I'm not. I'm like
thinking-
simultaneously really good and really bad at riddles.
You're fine.
Depends on the type of riddle.
I'm thinking, I'm
thinking
thinking,
it's
I'm
to-
talking.
Maybe it's like an
Same.
abstract concept when you gotta like say something towards a statue, or like like
Maybe.
oh gratitude,
A secret?
integrity, or honor.
I'm about to just like put my hand on this to see if something, but I like where you're thinking.
I will say you guys are on the right path, considering that you guys were stuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm looking at my inventory, see if I have any like items.
If you are to
It's
keep
all-
this, you must first give it to me.
I
You just hear like I can hear like dial-up noises in my head.
Let me give you guys another hint. The armor behind you cannot help you, it appears, and they're really not trying. They've also been unable to get through this room, which is why they've been avoiding it. There is something that you guys can give that they cannot.
Breath.
Huh? I'm thinking some kind
Air.
of bodily fluid,
What?
but that seems a little.
I'm thinking about
Here?
health
They can't
potions
breathe.
because we all have health potions still.
I would keep a hold on that. I don't think that's a
Eh.
because we're living souls. Does it want
Here?
blood?
Blood,
Do you
sweat,
have to
tears,
give
any of
blood
those?
in order to keep blood?
Do we gotta
Nope.
feed it?
No.
No. Hey, the abstract concepts. Abstract concepts. Did you
Ah.
just sort of like tapping on her head a little bit?
Let me know if you guys want to have a hint.
Ghost Cat's head starts steaming and just turns into smoke as he's trying to think.
Evaporates a little bit.
Yeah, or like the smoke's kind of rising off like he's steaming, but he's like thinking.
King Tuna just stares at the quote for a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, is this supposed to be something like, oh, the power of love? If you want to keep my love, you must give it to me." I don't know. What is this quote?
How is
even?
with the lava statue exactly?
I don't know.
Wait. Can
Those
I
guys aren't moving.
Wait, can I roll?
They
Try
sure
to give the
aren't.
statue a hug.
You sure can try to give the
Keep
statue a
on.
hug.
Oh my
Or
god.
should I roll?
Power of friendship.
You should not roll. You hug the statue, and you hear the repetition of love, and like the statue, like the statue is very clearly not animated, but it still like twerks its head, and then like twitches a little bit. And then it sort of like seems to like be like, okay, technically, you like see its hands like move just a little bit, not the one holding the weapon, but the empty hand sort of like thinking through and is like, okay, technically that actually solves the riddle. So, behind that statue, a particularly nondescript
Oh
part of
my
the
God.
wall painfully, slowly grinds and reveals that it's a door. The air in the next room tastes completely dead, even mustier than the other rooms if that's possible. Inside the room are coffins with murals behind them, each individually rendered with a surprising amount of color considering how faded the painting should be. There are
Nice.
3 on both sides and one more ornate one on the back, making a total of 7 coffins.
Oh.
Did the armor guys follow us in here, or are they just outside?
They actually like crowd at the door, but like they seem like incapable of going in. So like
Huh.
before they were like, we can't help you with this, but now they're like, we want to go in, but we can't. Like they're like pressing against where the door would
It's like a
would
mine.
be, and they can't. It's like something now has gone past the original idea of we can't help you to now we can't actually even get in there.
We can't physically can it. Cool. So it's like, hey guys, what do you think about? Oh, you're stuck.
And I was just kind of like, what? That
King
worked.
Tuna looks
Why
at
did
the
that work?
painting.
What?
Which painting are you looking at?
The nearest one to the door, I suppose.
All right, the nearest one to the door depicts a black mallard with a very prominent orange bill, and he looks both sly and easily misled. So, and this frame is in pretty detailed color.
Must be the newest one.
Huh.
Or a relatively new one.
I kind of look familiar. Or is that just me? It's probably nothing.
King Tuna, I guess he keeps looking at the paintings. He's confused and curious, I guess. So he starts traveling over to the left, I guess, looking at the other paintings.
Yeah.
I'll look at the ones on the right.
So
Maybe
the ones
seeing that kind
on
of
the
strolls
right,
down the middle.
So King Tuna, as you look past, you also see like a white and gray rabbit, which is also a neat color. But as you look on the left, you actually see Red Cat. You actually see more faded colors. You see what looks like rubber hose horse, but like it's not the normal black and white, because you can see on the other side that there's still color in the background. It looks sort of like decayed, like wrong, like it's like the others have been somehow maintained, and this one is sort of like falling to pieces. And as you look around, you see most of the other paintings are unfortunately in this state, except for one which has just reds.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Hmm.
that.
It's a cat. It appears to have been a tabby, but again, there's no oranges in this at all. It's just reds. And it is the painting that is in front of the most ornate coffin.
Red Cat looks
red.
at that, sees nothing wrong with it because he is also, in fact, very red. So it's just like, oh, hey, there's a red tabby over here.
King Tuna looks at the
distant
coffin,
relative of yours?
just kind of runs his little hand over it like, this is very ornate for a coffin. Whoever must have been buried inside must have been very terribly important.
Yeah, well, you can't take it with you and all that.
I wouldn't be opposed to grave robbing if it's for the importance of, like, setting these people free and, you know, getting rid of the ones who don't have any souls or consciousness anymore.
Should you touch that?
Well, I mean, if it's for the good of the people, and, you know, maybe there's goodies inside that they don't need any.
You touch the coffin.
You're gonna.
Oh, no.
You
No,
touch.
King Tuna hasn't gotten very far. He's still just kind of has his hand on it. He's looking at it and he's debating. He's true neutral, so he can swing either way.
No,
He's
my
like,
friend. My
you do
my
this-
beautiful, wonderful, powerful friend. You don't have to have done much more than touch the coffin, but you touch the coffin.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh,
Door
dear.
rattles.
And King Tuna jerks his hand away and he's like, I didn't do it! I didn't do anything yet!
And the hinges are like very poorly maintained. And like when it rattles again, they shake, and like one of the bolts pops out just like that. And when
Red
it
Cat backs
rattles,
up and gets the axe ready.
Daisy yeet behind with the.
King
Shovel
Tuna
it
just
right.
holds his hand up like, I didn't do anything! Please stay at peace! Stay dead, please!
remember, Manny and Hoodie, you guys have those stealth checks which you completely passed. So
Oh,
the door bursts, and I need everybody to roll initiative one last time.
Oh boy.
I'm just imagining, like, the door opening, and then instead of bringing the axe out, like, Red Cat just vanishes. Like, just slumps into the ground like a cat, and then just gone.
15.
Daisy just takes a very long stretching step back into the shadows.
Yes!
You didn't see her.
I
Never
feel
heard my
that.
way out of
You
this.
didn't see nothing.
Oh, shoot. I forgot the initiative.
Oh wait, I forgot to
thing.
put my bit of it.
Yeah, that's +2 with mine.
Fart.
That's only a 5! Good.
Where's my? It's a +2.
That's good because he's hiding.
Hang on, I'm re-rolling because I'm a fart. Okay.
Okay, so we have.
I forgot my +2, but it doesn't matter. I only got a 5. I'll take that 5.
So we have Ero, and then um. Do you guys want to rock paper scissors between Daisy and King? Who goes first?
Nah, it's okay. Daisy, go first.
All right,
Okay.
Daisy, King. Then we have mummified remains,
Oh,
Oh boy.
and then we have Red
Nice.
Get
Cat.
that shovel.
great. I'm last.
Double check me. Is that right?
Yep, looks like it.
Zero, Daisy. Yep.
All right. In that case, Ero, you come first. The coffin, which is very ornate with this very red tabby, which looks weird. It's like, from your gaze, it really seems like it should have at least some yellows, and it just doesn't. It bursts forth the. Actually, real quick, my dear king, can you make a dex save for me?
Okay.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh boy.
So would that be D20 plus 2?
Yes.
Or no, on saving throws it says +1 on my character sheet.
That would be it.
Oh no, a 6.
You do not make the throw. You
Oh,
don't just
no.
see the door fall down. You see the door fall onto King. I'm going to be nice and say that it's only a
Ooh.
D4, but it's thrown with some force, so you take 3 points of damage, my friend.
King Tona just
Pancake.
screeches and he's like, "Get it off! Get it off! I didn't grave rob, I swear."
He's just like flattened underneath. There's like a hand
Yes.
flailing out from under.
Only the arms are normal.
It's a rock with legs.
And you see, strangely mummified when all the others have been either completely decayed or attached to whatever armor they were holding. You see this mummified being with like scraps of fur, which actually are more normal tabby colors, if very dusty, and there's no soul in those eyes. What, Iro, do you do?
Wait, does it have any sort of weapon?
It does indeed, but it doesn't look like it has like a scimitar or anything, strangely. It just looks angry.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna try to like roll and hit it with my axe, but I think I'll also do disarming attack as a maneuver.
Do it.
I forgot to add that damage. Oh, King
Ooh.
Tuna would be at like 4 HP now.
Oh my gosh.
No, 5.
Oh.
Still.
Tuna, you're gonna wanna hold back a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe you take that health potion.
King Tuna is scrambling underneath the little dwarted coffin still, and he's like, "No, don't attack! It's help me! Help me, darn it!"
I was just like, hold on a second.
Iro, your attack just hits. Give me some damage.
Nice. Okay, that it also like you can do other dice for the thing, right? In the chat.
Yeah, you can do 1d6.
Mhm.
Or something like that. I tried it before. Red Cat from their hiding spot. Like, you just see two eyes underneath another coffin. Just like, just the eyes. And just looking at Tuna, just like, or keep an eye on her. He'll help when he's
And then
needed.
there's also a D8.
Stack them up.
Do it. Do it.
the 1920s jazz music I'm listening to just got more intense,
Nice.
Nice.
but it's like jazz stuff.
All right, Iro,
This is pretty jazzy.
you managed
At least
to
it's
slice at them, but the armor that they're wearing, which is in a much worse state than the animated armors, but still there, still protects it some. So you don't you do damage, but you don't do as much as you could have hoped.
Yeah. And wait, can I also maybe action surge and then rescue Tuna?
You sure can. In fact,
Yes.
I recommend it.
Oh, Oh, boy.
What should I roll, if anything?
Maybe just pure strength to get the coffin lid off of them.
Wait, would you say an athletics check?
I will accept that. I will
Buggers.
take a 23. You pop this coffin lid up like it's a pile of grapes. And from the way that
Phew.
King is flattened, it's very clearly more heavy than it seems like to you, but you're just a strong boy. You're just strong.
strong.
So King Tuna is flat for a moment, like perfectly flat on the ground, and then he pops up like back into like his regular form and kind of scrambles
tired.
out away, all panicked with his fur standing on end and looking very disheveled.
Aw.
All right. Next up is Daisy. What are you
Ooh,
gonna do?
Yeah. Well, Daisy just watched this poor, insufferable, but admittedly charming jerk just get squashed, and fortunately, she does have something up her sleeve. She has cure wounds, and she, well, run over to King Tuna and cast that on him.
Excellent. I love this working together thing.
It's like guy might have like lathered his way through so many encounters, but she's not gonna stand to see him get smoked. But okay, so what do I roll? I need to prepare. Where is it?
I think it's
just
plus
there.
your magic modifier.
My spellcasting modifier is a +1,
Yeet.
so it's a 20 plus 1. 20 plus 1.
Yeah, I would be right.
Oh, it's a 10.
A 10 is not going to. Well,
Ooh.
what do you have? What do you have to save against? Oh, your difficulty class is 9. A 10 just makes it.
Ah, nice.
Cause you roll against your difficulty class, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say whether it's right or not, we fudge it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Roll a d8 plus spellcasting modifier.
Stroker and a D 8 plus heck is my that's a +1. 7.
King, you now have 7 more points.
So that brings me up to full health.
Nice.
Ah,
Do you wanna do anything else, Daisy?
she's just sort of gonna pull King behind him, like, how don't you sit this one out? And
King
has her
Tuna is like,
shovel at the
that
ready.
is fine by me. Lord, I cannot do this anymore. This was not worth it.
Oh my god.
I've got
Drama.
to speak to my manager about this. Side jobs were a great idea. They boost my reputation. And they give me money. No, this is not worth it at all.
King, are you gonna spend your whole turn complaining? Cause I would let
Yes,
you.
he is.
Cause what I would
He
do is I would let you do that as like a prepared action where you can like pop back in when you're done complaining and do what you want. You want to do that?
Sure.
All
He
right.
seems like the type that would complain for 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Or like, like a whole entire round, just like 6 seconds.
Unfortunately, that does make it the mummy's turn.
Oh boy.
That's okay, I'm next. I'm gonna kick his ass.
You should. You can, will, should, and must. the the mummy is going to cast mummy is going to look at you, King, and you
Oh,
suddenly
no.
get like
Oh.
this chill up your back, like, oh, it's not going for whoever's in front of it, it's going for the person who touched it. And you suddenly like feel the cartoonishly large arrows suddenly spring out of the air and point right at you, like, this guy, this guy, this guy. And this mummy glares at you. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. King, like, King Tuna just shivers, like, visibly shakes a little bit. And, let's see how he does. 20. 20. 12.
You make it. You feel this shiver like come up on your back, but then you realize, I'm King Tuna. What does this mummy atrophied freak think it has against me? And more specifically, think that it can get between me and my reward?
Yeah.
The mummy attempted to cast Dreadful Glare, but you are now immune to the dreadful glare of all mummies for the next 24 hours. I can't see
yeah.
why you would need that for more than this round, but now you're good.
Now I'm good.
Alrighty, the mummy is actually going to use its move action after it failed its glare, and it's going to shamble forth, and it gets right up close to you, Iro. It's
Oh.
Ew.
ready to fight. But first,
Iroh is down to. He's ready to throw down.
oh yeah, he's ready to throw down. But
Gotta
first,
fight some bandages.
the hidden red. Are you ready to make your dramatic entrance?
What?
The hidden red. Don't forget
Oh,
you
yeah.
had that.
So, like,
Oh,
in the
yes.
background, as all of this is happening, you see, like, you hear, like, that noise anytime, like, someone's, like, sneaking around on their tiptoes. But, like, really fast. Kind of like Mr. Krabs' noise. But, or, like, how he was in the pilot, I think. It just, like, as he kind of, like, slinks underneath all of the other coffins, kind of, like, just back and forth, like, zoop, 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 and then just kind of, like, launches out of, to a point where he's, like, very close to, Arrow, and then just kind of pops up and is like, axe time, let's go! Just kind of springs out of nowhere.
My axe.
I'm gonna
Nice.
absolutely give you
Great axe
advantage on that. So roll attack
Heck
plus. Roll attack twice.
Okay. Okay. D20. That's 4.
Ooh.
I like 8, but not that much.
Yes.
Hey!
Give me some damage. Give me some damage. Give me some damage.
Oh wait, no, it's not D20. It's 12. Plus 6.
Go all the way.
2.
A
Red Cat's afraid to
10.
put
Just
the
like-
hurt on him.
Like the satisfying shonk.
Oh, it's a crunchy 10.
Nice.
It's a crunchy 10. You hear this mummy like snarl, and it's like the snarl of a beast that's been hurt. And you can both like now confirm this thing doesn't have a soul. It's like those skeletons. Even though it's there, it doesn't really have who it used to be. But also, this thing was hurt by a 10. You get a feeling that if you get even one more of those, this thing will go down quickly. On the other hand, if you get lower numbers, it might still take a while, because it's still shambling on its feet, and it's still mad.
Red Cat just kind of does like that. Basically, that laugh I just did, but just like a little bit more manic. Just.
Perfect. Iro, you're back up, and this mummy is right up in your business.
Okay, would it potentially be susceptible to poison damage?
It would not, because it is also immune. I am so sorry that I have given you, like, the one set of
still.
encounters that cannot use your super cool feat.
No, it's just, yeah, I'm just gonna, like, again, whap it with my hand axe. The tried and true attack.
Do it. Dice parser?
Dice parser.
I think the bot died.
Bruh.
Try
Please,
rolling one
please
more.
come back.
You know what? Let me try. T20 plus
Give it a-
6. Oh, the bot's done.
Oh no.
That's okay.
The bot tapped out.
Let's see. Dice roller
Quick to Google.
online.
Wizards of the Coast, save us. I have one.
We're just gonna use this for the rest of the game. We're almost done. It's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine.
So,
Hey, I have that
RIP
saved.
nice.
Nice.
Nice roller.
let's see. It's a D10 plus 6. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you guys roll, and I'm gonna trust you. If you guys wanna like just go pure, all right, it's 20s. I'll call you out at that point, but I'm gonna trust you with whatever you guys get because
Alright.
you guys have
All right.
rocked, and you should rock and roll this mummy. All right, so roll it,
Roll.
baby.
Yeah, I got 14 plus 6, dirty 20.
A dirty 20 is definitely gonna hit this guy.
Ooh.
It is not good at
Nice.
armor. So
Be a
give me
dusty
that
20.
damage.
Oh yeah, that's just a 1.
It's just a 1.
Oh.
Ooh.
The
Crunchy.
zombies just screams in your face, and you're not intimidated, but someone who had like less guts definitely could be. But instead of being able to do anything, Daisy's upon him. What does Daisy do?
Oh. I'm looking at my spells. She's like, I'll still ride the high of a successful healing throw, and she's like, what spells I got? Mentally rifling. Entangle. I think
Oh,
I'll
wow.
stop this mummy in its tracks. Oh,
Do it.
please. Okay. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. What's in it? So yeah. Grasping weeds and vines sprout from the ground a 20-foot square starting from a point. And a creature in the area must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained.
All right, I have to
Ooh,
succeed
boy.
on a strength saving throw. Let's see.
Okay. And I'm looking
Uh,
at the dice because that's a
D20.
20.
That's plus.
It's a 20
3.
plus a 1.
I got a
Wait,
6. So that
Wait.
fails the strength saving throw.
Okay, I'm doing. Hang on, I gotta roll. D20 plus 1. 18!
That's 18 points of damage?
Wait, no, wait. I rolled not the damage part. I did a 20. What's the damage again?
It looks like this spell actually doesn't do damage, it just restrains the creature. I would give you,
I don't know.
if you want, I would give
know the
you,
dice.
say, a d6 and just say that you're so amped up that all the vines concentrate on the enemy. If you want to roll a d6.
Heck yeah, I'll roll the d6 because I'm souped up at the moment. Oh, 1d6. That's a 5.
A 5 is amazing!
Nice.
This thing is like tied up and it's like got underneath some of the wrappings, and it's like it's not looking good, my friends. It's still on its feet. It's still angry as all get out, but it's not looking great.
Whew.
So
He's
now
just like,
it would be
"Ah,
King Tuna's turn, right?
It sure would be.
So King Tuna, he'd been sitting back kind of shocked, but now he's a little bit miffed again, because how dare this creature try to attack him when he didn't do anything wrong, you know, more or less. And he just, like, gets out his giant tuna and whacks this mummy across the face, like, how dare you try to attack me? I didn't do anything wrong. You're just... I can't even deal with your kind. You're nasty, terrible. Why would you attack someone as important as yours truly, King Tuna? And so
Alright.
he just whacks it across the face. So I'm gonna see how that hits. So 14.
Oh, Dice Press is back. A
Yeah.
14
shoot.
does hit.
Hallelujah!
I forgot that it was down.
Give me the sweet, sweet damage, my king.
Alright. So, that would be D4, right? I think it's a D4 for club damage. Only a 1.
One.
Only a 1.
All
It's,
these big dramatic hits, and they do a doink.
it's still really bad. Unfortunately, before we get to red, it's the mummy's turn. And they're wrapped up in vines, and they're sort of like yowling in this way that still clearly conveys they're not them. They can't really ever get back to them at this point with how far they've fallen. And they're right up next to Iro. So they take one of their fists and they attempt to slam it into Iro's face.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Does an 8 hit you?
Wait, that's against AC, right?
Yes. I'm guessing
it
no.
does not hit. It's 18.
I figured not. They try.
Squishy noise. Squeak
That
toy
was, like,
noise.
pathetic.
But here's the thing. Before they can even connect, Daisy's vines have completely stopped their hand. They can't move their hand far enough to even hit somebody right in front of them in the face. They're so bound.
It's like that shot of like the fist getting like inches away and just shaking like.
And Red, my friend, if you can pull off another 10, this
Let's do it. I'm
Get
ready
that
to
hammer
destroy
axe.
them.
If
Okay.
King
Strong
Tuna
club.
were a more sympathetic person, he'd feel really bad for this, like, clearly gone mummy cat.
Yeah.
But as it stands, he's just miffed that he's been put through such a hard time today.
Oh, 19 absolutely hits. Give me that sweet,
I can
sweet
do it.
damage.
Oh, what? D12 plus 2. 2. Yes. Ah,
4.
that's still pretty good.
Oh, it's so close.
Hacking away at
a
him.
1,000 cuts.
That
That second attack isn't as. It's like a bounce, like one of those bouncy, totally fine, not split, not like squished like clay attacks, but like the just bounced.
It's so close, you guys. And next up, Iro. Are you gonna be the one to get the final shot?
God, I hope so.
In a row.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
You got this.
You can do it. The DM's on your side, even. Woo! That's a joke.
Yeah,
I'm always
just-
on
yeah,
you guys'
again-
side.
again,
Let's be
just,
real.
You know, accident. It's a 9.
A 9 is not going to hit the AC. Oof.
Ah,
Oh.
Iris
You're
is, like,
actually
torturing this
tangled
poor
up in the
mummy at this
vines too,
point.
and you have to like wrestle it out.
It's just like Iris just like it's a single tear runs down and is like,
oh,
I failed as a fighter.
No, buddy.
Oh,
You did your best, and that's what counts.
Really be like that.
Alrighty. First of all, you guys can also check Dice Parser, but I'm gonna give you a second attack because this thing is completely incapacitated, and honestly, Iro deserves this. Give me one more roll.
Wait, did you say
You
the
got this.
thing is working?
dice
now?
parser's back up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Back from the grave.
It just needed a nap.
yeah.
He went for a coffee break.
A 12, on the other hand, does hit. Give
Nice.
me that damage.
Fine.
Give me it. Give me.
Come on. Damage time.
Damage.
Damage.
Break his knees!
4? A 4 does it, my friends. Iro, you bring the axe down, and this mummy just disintegrates, And for the briefest of seconds, you see like something in its eye like glint as it looks behind you, and it's gone, and it just disintegrates. And then the armors behind you like fall into the room because they were like leaning on the whatever it was so hard. And they like stand up, and they both like nod at you seriously before they get back to their more toony nature, because that was a big deal and they could not have done that without you.
The JoJo faces a second.
With this subdued but necessary negotiation upon your heels, you travel back to town, making it safely through the forest of Notoro. Maybe the forest spirit smiled upon your mission? And telling Bernard the solution you came to. Bernard is surprised that there are any that remain that are still sane enough to be rationalized with, but the Toonkind are honestly pretty accepting of strange circumstances, so Bernard figures that with a lot of discussion, they might actually be able to come to an agreement that can keep everybody safe. We're gonna leave the scene with our whole party being invited into Bernard and Willa's home for a hot meal. And Bernard like leans down to Willa and says, "All right, these guests are going to be coming in for a meal. Yes, you can now tell the story." And Willa like sun shines. Like the sun is coming down, but light is beaming from her face, and she's like, "I'm gonna tell you about how I got rescued! There were these bandits, and they were capturing people, and they got me because my daddy was really important," and it fades out as she tells you the story of the daring rescue launched upon that very same tomb by a different party. And that is where I will leave you guys. Thanks all.
Wait. But before the after the camera blacks out, there's a little bubble that pops up, and King Tuna says, "But what about my reward?"
And Bernard like pulls out the ring and goes, "I'm getting you your reward. I'm getting you food first, though." And then the ring zoops back. That's all, folks.
I'm just imagining right before the dinner scene, they're like, "We actually I think we did pretty good," and then Red Cat's head just kind of falls off a second because he got damaged pretty extensively. Oh no! But then he's like, "Oh, I'm fine. It's nothing. Just he's fine."
Never fear, everybody will be healed by the hot meal that is provided as
Yeah.
they listen to Willa ramble about being rescued by a different party.
Yeah.
I like the doodles.
Daisy's just got like a little extra dirt. No big deal.
Yeah.
Y'all did so good. Are you
was
guys
fun.
sure that this was like your first time playing D&D? Y'all
First
sure?
time being a
I've played a little
Toonkind.
bit
My
of
first time
Pathfinder
on-
before. I'm currently in a Pathfinder camp.
I've been in at least 3 D&D games, but this is they've gotten progressively more homebrewed. I've been in Starfinder, and then I've been in
This is
D&D.
I've done one other
First Barbarian.
kind of D&D one shot, but it wasn't really much. This is the first really good one shot that I've been in that it was a lot of fun.
Oh,
I really
stop.
enjoyed this.
I got this is my first time playing online, which was kind of a big deal. But right now, I'm actually in a really crazy homebrew with that being DM'd by my best friend. Right now, it's a Silent Hill theme with straight
Ooh.
up me and their sister as characters. So it's really personal and crazy.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
All right,
this was
y'all
so
did
much fun.
y'all did fantastic. You want to sign off?
Yep.
I wouldn't really know how.
I
All
guess-
right, guys. I'll see you next time as we encounter a new band of adventurers and a new band of adventures. But always remember, Toonkind will have your back, even when nobody else will. That's
Nice.
all, folks.
Bye-bye.